Hi there and welcome to Scrap and Coffee. In this video I'm going to start with my December daily or my countdown to Christmas project for kit number 2. So I've prepared some pieces and I've decided on doing something a little bit different and I think really basic, really easy. It comes together easy. You can customize it. Yeah, I think it's a fun project. So I've got some pieces to size, some cardstock pieces. I am going to make some tags and I've got some larger pieces. These are pages. I have 6 pages and I've made 8 smaller pieces. Now these smaller pieces you can use the pinwheel technique. So just cut up 2 sheets of your 12 by 12 cardstock. I cut them 7 by 5 with the pinwheel technique. If you're not familiar with the pinwheel technique, I will put a link to a video where I show you the pinwheel technique. It's really easy and it gives you the opportunity to get 4 pieces out of 1 sheet of 12 by 12 paper. So this is 2 sheets of cardstock, and then for this you need 6 sheets of cardstock. So in total 8 pieces of cardstock. And then if you cut the larger pieces on your smallest size first, and then on the larger side, then you will have a small scrap piece left over here. And out of those pieces, I've cut and scored my pieces to make pockets that will fit on the tags. And out of your larger pieces, you can cut some larger pockets and some angled pockets that I'm going to show you. So if you do it right, you can get all of this out of 8 sheets of cardstock. I just wanted to share that with you. And the amount of scraps that you have left over is really small. So we have a square piece. Let's start with this. This is already to size. We only have to determine on where we are going to make some holes. And yeah, this is a square piece and we're going to make it into a tag shape. And in order to do so, we are going to make some marks. So I've already done one. I like this size, so that's what I'm going to do for all of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center of the short side and then measure 7/8 of an inch towards both ends. So I make 2 little tick marks there, and I'm going to measure 1 1/4 on the long side from the edge, 1 1/4 down, or sideways in this case. And that I'm going to put in my paper trimmer. Just connect those pencil lines there and cut that angle. So really easy. There we go. And then I'm going to make a hole there. And in order to determine where I'm going to place the hole, I'm going to line up my ruler. Yeah, that's 7/8 of an inch from the center. I'm going to line it up with the grid that marks the 3/8 inch. So I'm going 3/8 of an inch inwards and then mark the center there. So that's 3/8 of an inch inwards and on the center of your piece. But I've measured that 7/8 of an inch that we marked there. So that's where we are going to punch the holes for the tags. Now I'm going to use a 1/4 of an inch hole punch, but I didn't have that, so I've ordered it and I have to wait for it, but that's okay. Why did I do that? Because I have the We Are Memory Keepers hole enforcement punch that I never use because I don't have a 1/4 of an inch hole punch. But I want to use it for the tags, so because I think it's really easy. So that's why I'm doing a 1/4 of an inch. But you can also use your crocodile or yeah, whatever it is that you have, of course. I still have something in there. So I'm just going to punch those holes. Just to show you now, but I will do it with my 1/4 inch punch later on. So I'm not going to show you all the tags. No, you get the idea. You do it all for all 8 of them the same way. And then for the larger page, of course you are going to determine your order of how you want this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you how you determine where to punch your holes. You can do 2 things. If we place the tags next to each other, or actually on top of your page, and you line it up with the side edge and the bottom and the top, you can mark it there. That's of course the most precise way to go. So now if I have my punch holes there, so now I can mark them here and I've nicely lined up. So I know where to punch, but you can also measure it, lining them up with these ones. And for that you would have to place your ruler, again line it up with the 3/8 inch mark, and I line it up with the center of this measurement. So that is 3/8 of an inch, and then center it with the measure, line it up with the measurement that's center for this piece and mark that. But I think if you punch your holes first and then line them up, maybe that's more exact. But so again, I'm just doing it now with my 3/16 hole punch, but I will be doing that with the 1/4 inch. So there we go. So at this moment I'm still working on how we are going to do the cover exactly, because I have an idea, but I didn't work out the details quite yet. But that's okay. So we are going to work with the binding rings, where we can just place them through the holes, and in that way we can bulk up the pages. We can really play around with it. Don't have to worry too much about not having enough space between our pages. You could even, like I'm going up to 25 days, you can go up to 31 days, however you like it. Like I made 8 tags, you can do only tags, you can do only large pages. You can really do this the way you like to do it. But I like to combine it, so I'm going to place my pages in the order where I want them. I will make the tags later on. I just want to continue filming for now. So I've decided I'm going to start with 2 tags, and that will be day 1, day 2, and when I turn it over, day 3 and 4. Then I have a large page for day 5 and day 6. One more large page for day 7 and 8. Then I will make 2 tags for 9, 10, 11 and 12. A large page for 13 and 14. Tags for 15, 16, 17 and 18. A large page for 19 and 20. Another large page for 21 and 22. And then I'm going to do 2 more tags, but not for days, just for fun. And if I decide later on I'm going to leave them out, I'm going to leave them out. And then I want to have day 23 and 24 on here. I want to have large for 24, and then I'm going to make an extra element for 25, or the actual Christmas day, because I think I want to have more than one photo of Christmas day. So I'm going to make a separate element for that. So this is my order. And now we can determine on some add-ons that we want. For example, like I said, I just made them out of the scraps, and I will see what I'm going to use. But for example, I can place a pocket on here. So this is the tag pocket piece. And then you have score lines on 3 sides. I'm going to use the 3/8 of an inch roll tape that came with your kit. And I'm going to tape up the 3 sides with a score line on the dented side of your piece. And you are going to place it between the cut edge and that score line, staying closer to the cut edge. And you don't have to go from edge to edge. You can go from edge to edge, but you are going to cut it away. And here I had some cardstock on it, so that's why I'm placing it a little bit further in, so I know I'm going to cut that away. So you tape it up, and then you are going to miter your corner to reduce bulk. So you can cut it at a 45-degree angle. I recently started to cut it with an angle from both sides, and I really like that technique. And yes, it does give some bulk. So if you want to cut it at a 45-degree angle to not have the bulk, yes, be my guest, of course. I don't know, I just feel that this technique is giving me a straighter corner or something. And that's totally me, of course, because I'm not able to cut a perfect 45-degree angle when I'm mitering. So burnish, fold and burnish on your score lines, fold towards the bumpy side, and then this pocket can fit on top of a tag. So we can just leave it like this. You could angle it a little bit, you can make an acetate frame if you want to. I'm going to start with just doing one plain one, and then we can decorate it, and you can place a photo in the pocket. You can place a cutter part in the pocket. We can really play around with it. So I'm going to stuck this pocket down. I'm just showing you some different opportunities, and you can, yeah, just make it your own. I really want to, yeah, of course you can do exactly what I'm doing, nothing wrong with that, but you can just go on what you like to do. And I think that's fun about this about this project. So I removed my tape backing, and I'm going to place it all the way to the bottom, lining it up on the 3 sides as best as I can, like that. So I have my pocket there, and I might switch it like this, I don't know. But I do want to give myself an idea of, yeah, you don't want to have 3 pages with a pocket behind each other and then like 2 without, or so you want to mix it up a little bit. So you in theory, you could also place a pocket, like when we flip this up in the book later on, you could place a pocket here, but then, like for example, when this tag would be in here like this, just keep in mind when you flip it up, your pocket is going to be on the top. So what you could do, but let me cut and fold on one of those pieces. I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but it's also because I don't have a clear vision of what it is exactly that I'm going to do. I'm just going with the flow at this moment. I hope you don't mind. I have, of course, a basic idea, but I'm not sure on where do I want to place a pocket, how many pockets am I going to place. So if you would want to have a pocket on the back side of your tags, then they will be lying like this. What you could do is place them on where you start your angle, but you have to decide for yourself if that is a look that you like or dislike. So you could do it like this, and then this can still fit in here. But then keep in mind that when they are, the tags flip over and you lift up your book, it might fall out. So personally, I think this is okay because you will flip it up, yes, but you're not going to lift up your book, and so it might fall out, but that's okay with me personally. But I think if you are going to place them on the back side of your tags, that might give you some issues. So you might not want to do that. But you could do it, but then I think you might want to do it here. So when you flip it up, it's the right side up. If you do it like that, then at least when your book is closed and you would lift it up, it's not falling out. So yeah, those are some things that you have to keep in mind. So I think for now I'm placing one on this one, on this side, and then nothing on the other one. So we are going to have that, and we will have this. And I'm kind of thinking about leaving this one Let me show you a large pocket on this one. So this is the page pocket. So you will do exactly the same thing. On the dented side of your piece, you are going to place your tape between the cut edge and your score line, staying closer to the cut edge. It's not like you have a lot of space in between there, but there we go. Again, miter that corner with any technique that you prefer to use. And there, yeah, like I said, you can do a lot. You can make windows in the pocket. You can use your envelope punch board to make a slit or another punch to. But I'm going to keep them straight in this album. I'm trying to keep it simple. I am thinking about doing like 1 or 2 windows in here, just because I can't help myself with that. But I won't do too much, I think. So when I use this technique, I always do the bottom flap, stick that to the side flaps. It helps me also with placing it on my piece. So this will go here. And then there's a lot of place to place some photos or other fun stuff in there. So I'm just, you can also just remove your tape backing partially. I'm just removing it all in once. And I line up the bottom again and the 2 sides. Along the bottom to the other corner and the edges. And give that a burnish. Burnishing your pieces on helps for a better stick, I'm telling you. So for the pocket on the large pages, the same thing goes up. Like if you want to do it on the back side, I don't think it's a smart way to do. I don't think you want to do it. Just leave it to the front sides. So we have that one. Then my last option, and I'm just going to show you, and I will see if I change my order later on, is to make an angled pocket on the large page. And that's the angled pocket piece. So what I did here is I've scored and I folded towards the bumpy side, and this one is going in this corner here. But so what I did is I scored it on the shorter side, scored it 1/2 inch, turn it clockwise and scored it again at 1/2 inch on the longer side. In that way it will go on this side. You can also score it the other way around. So you score it on the short side on top at 1/2 inch and turn it counterclockwise and score again at 1/2 inch with the longer side on top. And that way when you fold on your score lines, it will fit on the other side of your page. So you just have to think about where you put your score line when you decide on on what side of the page you want it. So what I just did is I cut 4 of them, and I scored 2 of them in this way and 2 of them in that way, and then I can just decide on what I want to do. Then I'm going to make an angle in this pocket. So I folded all that 1/2 inch flaps, and then I've measured from my folded edge here on top. So I have a folded edge here and a folded edge on the bottom. So on my left hand side and on the bottom. And on top I measured 1.5 inches from the folded edge and made a tick mark there. And here on my right hand side I've measured 2 inches from the bottom up and made a tick mark there. And I'm going to cut that angle out. There we go. And then you have an angled pocket. Now again, I'm going to stick this one down, but I will also show you, you could do a window. So I haven't made any holes in this one yet, so I can just do it where I want it. I'm going to place this one on the side here, and then you have enough room to place another photo next to it. And I think that's fun. I think that's fun, but so what I'm going to do is, normally I would place my tape before I angle my flaps, but I needed to determine the angle there. I like to have that sort of things figured out before I start filming. Because now, you think now I'm all over the place, but then it would be even worse. So now I'm just cleaning it up, but your scissors get really sticky from doing this. And I hate cleaning my stuff. So now I'm going to stick the bottom flap on top of the side flap. Like that. And I'm going to place it here in the left bottom corner. There we go. So that's an opportunity. Okay, so shall I do each? I think I will do, I will show you a window in each one of them. Yeah, the basic idea is the same, but so I would do, I think, 1/2 inch frame on a small pocket. So that means you're going to draw a line 1/2 inch on the side without score lines. And 1 inch from the cut edge on the sides with a score line. Like that. I will do the same thing here on the large pocket, I think. So for this piece, you first want to make your angle, and then you can draw your frame. So I'm going to open that back up. When you draw a frame, you always, well, I always do it on the bumpy side, so I don't have to erase any pencil marks when it's finished, because you're not gonna see that side. So here again, I'm going to draw a line 1 inch from the cut edge on my 2 sides with a score line. And then you have 2 short sides and 1 long angle side without a score line. There you're going to do that 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. And 1/2 inch. That's your frame. Okay, so we've drawn all the frames. Then we are going to cut out those inner parts. So I'm going to punch a hole there. Let me just do that on all of them. And then I will get my craft knife if I know where I left it, because like always I'm a bit messy. I have stuff everywhere. Okay. You can use your paper trimmer. I'm using a ruler and a knife. Okay, so for this angled pocket, when you've got your piece of acetate to size, you are going to place it on here where you have a nice border around. So you have enough space to place your tape. And then I'm getting a Sharpie or whatever it is that you have, and I'm going to mark on the acetate, keeping it in place, maybe a little bit higher to even out the border on top and bottom. I'm going to mark on where I can cut the angle out. Just make sure there is a border between the acetate edge and the frame. And then you line that up in your scoreboard and cut your angle and just check if you did it. Okay, so there we go. It's not completely straight, but it's enough. So all of the frames are cut out and I've got the acetate to size. And now what I will do is get the quarter inch tape. And place that on the acetate. Now again, for this angled pocket, you want to make sure that your tape is on the right side. So this is how it's going on top of the piece. So flip it over and then place your tape around the perimeter, close to the edge, without any overhang. And sometimes I always see people do all this. They are so easy with those tape rolls. I'm not. Yep. So then you can remove that tape backing. And carefully stick it on here. So again, you do this on the bumpy side. When you do this, make sure you're not going over your score lines. There is no tape overhanging on the inside of your frame. And hopefully I can make that work here, because I've got that a little bit off, but just really close to the edge there, but that's okay. That's not a problem. And again, burnish, but only on your tape. You don't want to damage your acetate. And then you have an angled pocket with a frame. So for the other two pockets, you will do the same thing. You place your tape around the perimeter of your acetate and stick it down. So for attaching these onto one of your pages or your text, you're going to do exactly the same thing as you did without the frame. You are going to tape it up on the dented side and miter the corners and place it where you want it. So you can make as many or as less windows as you prefer on your pockets. Yeah, I'm going to provide a sheet of acetate for you in the kit, and yeah, as long as you can make your windows with it, you can make your windows. But keep in mind, placing windows takes away photo opportunities sometimes. It can also make your decorating process or your embellishment process harder sometimes, but that's not always the case. Maybe with this one it's not a problem. So if you have a little bit of overhang of your 1/2 inch flap here in your window, no problem, because you will cover that up with your pattern paper later on. Now I have it because I didn't cut that really straight. I knew that already, but if you did cut nicely, then it should line up exactly actually. So then you don't have that problem at all, but it's not an issue if you have it. And although I haven't prepared all my pages, I'm just going to, and didn't make this into a tag, I'm just going to place the pocket on there. That doesn't make it any harder for me to make that piece into a tag. So I might end up making more of these, and of course I will show you what I end up doing, but I don't think you want to see me do the same thing over and over again. So I'm just placing it, and then I will determine the order later on, and then I will also see if I want to place more pockets somewhere else. But the base of the pages is pretty basic, and we can just play around with it later on. So I have a little bit of a bumpy corner there, so I'm going to place that pocket there. So there we go, and then I need one more large one for the angled pocket. So this one is going on the other side here. I think it's also fun to mix that up a little bit if you have the opportunity. So there we go, and then yeah, I need to place a little bit more pockets on here in total. So let's see what we've got so far, but you want to mix and match that a little bit. So maybe this one you want to switch around. So then you have one tag with a framed pocket, one that's completely plain, then you have a large one with a plain pocket. Then I would do the one with the acetate framed angled pocket, and then you have two tags, one with a plain pocket and one is completely plain. Then you have an acetate pocket again. And then maybe you want to do something without anything on it, just to have that in between as well. The plain angled pocket. then you get 2 tags. I'll probably place a pocket on 1 or 2 of these tags here. So let's see what I've got now, because I think I want to switch it up. Pocket. You don't have to have a pocket on every single. So let's do that one. Plain. Angle pocket. Tags, probably with one with a pocket. And then the one with the acetate large pocket, 2 tags, and then yeah, we'll probably place a pocket on that one as well. I think I will do an acetate angle pocket on the last large page. That's what I'm going to do, I think. So yeah, but you will see it eventually what I turned out doing. You know how to construct all of the pieces, and you can play around it and do it however you like to do it. And then of course we are going to decorate these and put them on the rings and make sure that they get a nice cover. And then I'm also going to make, like I said, a loose element for Christmas Day itself. So I hope it's kind of structured, this video. Well, at least I hope it can get you started on and you get an idea of what you want to do. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.